Hi. Um, this is post-Capitol. What happened on Wednesday was it sparked a flare of my fibro like you wouldn't believe. I could not believe what I was seeing from my fellow Americans. And then to hear afterwards that it was Antifa disguised as Trumpsters. Now, uh, even the wonderful president got on video and said, "I love you all." So no, it wasn't Antifa. I don't think he'd say that to Antifa. There's a lot of confusion as to what Antifa is. Antifa is a word that means anti-fascism. Fascism is what we've been under for the last 4 years, or the attempt thereof, where you're silenced because of your voice, because the media has to be silenced because they can't be trusted. You systematically undermine the faith that the people have in transparency and facts and the people who can share those facts. You systematically take all those reputable sources out from their legs, right? You say they're fake media and they're fake this and they're fake that. Somewhere along the line, the actual fake media who may have tried to yes man the fascist in head, well, you yes him to death so you can get the inner scoop, and eventually you're outed, right? So you become fake media too. Well, Fox News has not done that, Chris Wallace barring, but the majority of Fox News helped to build up to this point in maintaining that the election was somehow rigged. I understand reporting it, and there is a very fine line between reporting that kind of news and feeding into it. And I'm sorry, Fox News, you fed into it. Judge Janine, wow. I've got some few choice words for you, sweetheart. You've made it very difficult for a lot of people that I've loved. But every time you open your mouth, I tend to shut my hearing down because you have nothing good to say, nothing worth reporting. There is no purpose for you on television except to incite more hate and rile people up. Where is the evidence? You keep saying this election was stolen. Where is the evidence? Every judge, every court, even I have been waiting. I want to be proven wrong. Prove me wrong that this election was rigged. Prove me wrong, because I believe it was absolutely covered every end because your boss got up there and started bitching about how it was going to be a fake election and be stolen and everything prior to even the primaries. So everybody got in there and he hired Chris Krebs to make sure that that didn't happen. And Chris Krebs did his job. And he was still fired for it because, well, it didn't meet up with what the president wanted because he wasn't elected. You people who report the news should know how elections go. If you don't, then sit down and shut up. Now, look, we didn't like it when Donald Trump was voted in. But we all sat back and we had our little cry and we did a little rocking in our therapy. And then he proved us right. Yeah, he proved us all right. So we kept on crying throughout the 4 years, but just trying to ride out the wave and wondering what the hell is wrong with the people who are supposed to be protecting the Constitution, why they're not stepping up and protecting it before now. Representative Pelosi, I agree with you. We saw this. We all saw this coming. But even you guys did not do enough to stop it. Now, I have seen presidents come and go. Granted, I may not be as old as most of you centurions, but I am old enough to have seen a lot. And not every president did good, but not every president did bad either. Whether I voted for them or not, it doesn't matter. It's inconsequential. But this has been a shit show from the beginning. As soon as he got into office, he cut everybody $1,000 checks because, well, he was so happy and riding that wave high. Somehow or another, I started hearing about red and blue states, something I never heard of until election times. Primaries and elections, it's the only time you ever heard red and blue states. But now it's, well, I'm going to fund this red state, but I'm not going to fund that blue state. Well, you know, there are some red people in those blue states, and there are some blue people in those red states too. Divide and conquer, and most of you fed into it. You agreed with it, and you lost friends, and you lost family. Was it worth it? Here's a man saying, oh, Q is backing him because, you know, the pedophiles in government. He's a pedophile. He can sequester and he can squelch anything that he wants to. But once he is tried for treason or sedition or impeached or whatever the hell they're going to decide to do, the truth is going to start trickling out. How dare he call out Obama on his grades or AOC on her grades or anybody on their grades for that matter? He didn't even take his own damn tests. He can't read a teleprompter. He can't hold a single thought. He can't form a sentence. Oh, well, you know. That's his famous wording when he can't find his words. Oh, well, you know. Well, yeah, we know, yeah. Give me a break. You people have more common sense than that. Snap out of it. And those of you that don't, you deserve to be in jail. Because you were probably the ones that went into that Capitol building. The ones of you that stayed outside, bravo. Those of you that said, oh shit is going down here, let's get out of here. Even more bravo. But if you can't see this man for all the lies that he is, because he's undermined your faith in every single news organization, pointed you towards Fox News and Friends for the longest time, and then all of a sudden turned his back on them. Mulvaney should have seen it coming. Pence should have seen it coming. He's done it all along. Oh, I love this guy. He's a great guy. And then he turns his back on them. You don't want socialism. You don't want socialism. You better look up what socialism is. Because you keep pointing to Russia, and Russia's not socialism. Yeah, I know. USSR, the Soviet Socialist Republic. Yeah, that's not socialism, dumbasses. That's communism. You like unions, right? That's socialism. You like your Medicare. You like your Social Security. You're all going to be in lines for that. Grabbing it. I'm challenging all of you to back off of all those social programs because that's socialism. Your medical insurance, your insurances. I hear some are trying to fight their way up to the Canadian medical system because, well, it's all North America. No, sweetheart. No, the medical up here is a hell of a lot better. It's got its problems, don't get me wrong. But you, a reporter, Janine, you're a dumbass. You really need to wake up. Take out the little straw from the Kool-Aid there. This man was supposed to protect the United States. He was supposed to protect the Constitution. His followers, those that voted him into office, had every reasonable right to believe the words that were coming out of his face. I don't fault them. I fault the ones that did break in. The ones he sat around glorifying and loving while the rest of his staff and whoever was in his office at the time, while he was watching these riots, were looking at him like, oh my God, he's out of his mind. Yeah. He's the one that invited all over Twitter, come to Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Something big's going to happen. It's going to be great. It's going to be wonderful. Don Jr. right there with his daddy. They're Giuliani. Let's do a combat. Prior to this, though, you all heard him. You saw his tweets and his Twitters. And you know what follows when his people start getting riled up and involved. You have one, a 16, 17-year-old kid shooting protesters because his president said to? His commander-in-chief? They didn't set up for riots because, well, they thought they were just Trump protesters. It was going to be quiet because it's gone quiet every other time in every other city. That wasn't Antifa. Those were Trumpsters coming in and stirring up and trying to break up the riots. You know, vigilanteism. That's a crime too, right? Being a vigilante is a crime. These ones wanted to hang Pelosi and hang Pence. Now look, I don't like Pence. I think Pelosi is weak. I think she could have been a hell of a lot stronger throughout this. But they're human beings, and this is not right. People died. This wasn't a fun time in the D.C. Capitol. What you did was treasonous. It was seditionous. It was, you broke in. You wrecked stuff. You erected a noose. What the hell is wrong with you people? Wake the hell up.